Hello, everyone, and welcome to our lesson on conversation levels. As you can see in the official Google anti-gravity documentation, there are actually two different modes for starting a conversation with your agent: planning and fast. Up until now, we have been working exclusively in fast mode. In fast mode, the agent executes tasks directly and immediately. It is perfect for simple, localized tasks that can be completed quickly, like renaming variables or running a few basic commands. You use this when speed is your main priority, and the task is straightforward enough that you don't have to worry about the agent making complex mistakes. In this lesson, we are going to explore the second conversation level, which is planning mode. This mode is entirely different. Instead of jumping straight to coding, the agent actually takes time to plan before executing tasks. You want to use planning mode for deep research, complex development, or highly collaborative work. When you use this mode, the agent actively organizes its work into task groups, produces detailed artifacts, and takes the necessary steps to thoroughly research and think through its approach to ensure optimal quality. So, let's see an example of this in action. Please head back into Google Anti-Gravity and open our NinjaTrader workspace. Right here, let's switch the conversation mode from fast over to planning. Now that we have changed the mode, I want to paste in a specific prompt. In this prompt, we are asking the agent to create an indicator that colors price bars based on their individual momentum. We are instructing it to use the average true range, or ATR, to normalize and measure the relative momentum of each bar. We also want it to apply a dynamic color gradient. If the momentum is weak relative to the ATR, it should use a faint desaturated color. But as the momentum increases, the color should become progressively more intense and bright. Let's press enter, let our agent get to work, and watch the interaction. As you might notice, I already have a few existing indicators in my folder that color bars based on different parameters, and the agent is actually smart enough to access them and use them as reference examples. Notice how it just generated a new file called tasks. Here we can literally see the exact step-by-step checklist the agent defined for itself, and we can watch as it marks each specific task as completed. The second file it created is the implementation plan. This provides a complete, detailed breakdown of the exact architecture and logic it plans to use for our new indicator. So now let's wait for it to finish its work and see the final result. Look how beautifully this works. Our agent has checked off every single item, meaning it completed the entire mission, and it is now showing us the full development process it went through. We can view the detailed specifications of our new indicator right here. And of course, if we want to leave feedback or change something specific, we can always click on any of these lines and leave a direct comment. Now let's jump over to the indicator itself and take a look. This is the code it developed for us, and it decided to name the indicator Bars Color Momentum RA. Let's accept these changes and head over to NinjaScript to verify the compilation. But look what happens here. We actually received a compilation error. Notice that when I try to manually compile the indicator, it throws an error. So, as we learned before, let's copy this exact error, paste it back to our agent, and see if it can solve it on the first try. Okay, let's accept its proposed fix. Now we will return to NinjaScript and see if it successfully repaired the issue. We can see the file compiled successfully now. If we want to be absolutely sure, let's manually compile it ourselves one more time to verify everything is in order. And there we go. The file compiled perfectly. Now we can finally test this indicator on our chart. I am already looking at the NASDAQ chart. Let's right-click with the mouse, select Indicators, and search for our new script. You can see our indicator right here. I will double-click it to move it down to the configured list. I am going to leave all the parameters exactly as they are by default, and click OK. And look at that. We can see the indicator is working flawlessly. You can see it applying a smooth color gradient to the bars, based entirely on their momentum. The large, strong momentum candles are painted with bright, intense colors, while the smaller, choppy candles are painted with much fainter, desaturated colors. Simply amazing. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Thank you so much for listening, and we will of course see you in the next one.